G'day everyone, welcome to episode number 2 of Jetski's Garage. This episode we'll be looking at fitting a Wilwood master cylinder to a XA, XB, XC Falcon. Here we have our Wilwood master cylinder that I purchased. It is a 7/8 bore. There we go, 7/8. Yeah, there you go, for depending on where you buy it from, but approximately around the 380 to 400 sort of mark, depending on where you get it from, like I said. But yeah, this one in the box comes with a couple of plugs and a couple of fittings to be able to screw your lines in. If I take these off, I can have a look on the inside as well. You can get a kit to get a couple of different ends and that as well to be threaded onto the rod. But yeah, that's one thing I'd like to sort of go through you with, to have a bit of a look on what sort of changes we can make to be able to do a bit of a get up, I suppose you say, at home, just using what you got. And here we have inside nicely. So yeah, for front brakes, front rear brakes, smaller one, goes on nicely like that. And that will go back on. So I have noticed though that you only get 2 of each of those fittings. Now, depending on how you want to run your front brake lines, on whether or not you want both brake lines to run into just one of these, or whether you want to have individual, like I've sort of got set up here. But if you put them in like that, then obviously you don't have another one for the rear. Now, what I ended up having to do is go and purchase another one. So this is the part number that you'll need if you want to do all 3 lines individually to the master cylinder. So you've got your adapter, part number there, and then there she is. So there's another one there, and that will screw into that one at the back there. So if we run across to the engine bay, here's our port here. Now, the reason why they fit the adapter plates is because, as you can see there, that, get a better view, that protrudes out of the firewall. So the standard holes won't actually allow you, because they are elongated like so. So they won't actually allow you to get, or mount that straight directly to the firewall. So I believe the Castlemaine Rod Shop kit that you can get is basically just a bit of a spacer plate, so that, yeah, you put the plate on first and this on afterwards. I didn't really want to do a plate because I wanted to locate this solidly to the bracket, and if I could make those locators fit more into the master cylinder housing, then I felt, yeah, that'd just be a bit more of a stronger hold on it, whereas this is solidly located, as well as the bolts going through as well. So what I ended up doing is have a bit of a play before I did this video, and what I ended up, I'll just put that on so that doesn't fall off as I throw it around. So I just grabbed a die grinder and just made those circular, but only on that leading edge. So that side, as you can see, I've only done half, and just enough so that those locators will go in there, really. You can get a burr bit and just throw it in your drill. That's all I used, and with that I was able to then put it right there, like that. So, oops, sorry. So they'll put it in, holes line up, and happy days. But there was one other issue that I had with it, was on those corners there in the radius. So as you can see, my old paint. Yeah, just here on the radius, there were actually fouling a little bit. So again, all I did was just grab the die grinder bit and just clean them up a little bit there on those corners, and then I was able to get clearance. So yeah, taken off absolutely stuff all, and once that's bolted up, you can't even tell there's been any modification done to it at all. I know some people think, don't want to, be modifying a an expensive master cylinder, but yeah, I can't see the difference because it's all hidden, it's behind, I'm not going to notice it whatsoever. Another thing is the fittings of this one. You need the double flare, whereas the original ones don't. So there's another modification that you're going to have to do. But the other thing is you need new, get some focus, you need new swivel ends too. The original ones, if you refer to this picture just now, you'll see that the original ones have this longer stem here, and these newer ones don't. With the longer stem, you can't actually get enough thread into those adapters, so therefore, yeah, it just isn't going to work. Did think about chopping them down, but yeah, went down to my local Sprint Auto Parts store and was able to get these ones, and yeah, much happier. So I've trimmed some of the lines to be able to get the double flare, but all three of my brake lines now, I still have to bend this one into the back port. That's my rear brake line, and these are my two fronts that I've already done. So yeah, I'll bolt that up and then I'll be able to show you guys what sort of setup it looks like on the inside and where the next problem was. Alrighty, so now that this is all bent up, I haven't used a proper brake line bender, but it's actually just by hand, sort of done the job. So that bottom one there as well, and then that's all just by hand too, but from the distance, not too bad. Now, as we climb on in, up inside here, finally get there, there we go. So as you can see, as that comes through, it's actually too high, the rod. So I think what some people have done is they've made the plates, adapter plates to drop it down. There is a slight gap there at the bottom, not very much at all, very, very minimal. So what I'm going to end up doing is just putting a bead of silicone there, and I'm going to be more than happy with that to seal that up. So basically what we need to do is we need to still have the threaded section and be able to get that to adapt to here. So I'm going to get the original section there with the ring at the bottom and sort of weld them sort of like that, so it'll line up hopefully. So yeah, we'll get to some cutting and tacking and then test fitting, and then hopefully we should have a good bit of an adapter. Come back out of my shed to grab the old brake booster. So what we end up doing is cutting off the end of that. I think it might actually work pretty well, the fact that the eye isn't actually centered with the rod, so it'll give us a bit more drop of yeah, there's a bit of an extra space to be able to get that lower to line up with the stem coming off the brake pedal stem. Little bit comes off, same. Anyway, yeah, so I do have a bit of threaded nut that I did get given by a mate of mine who actually had the specific Wilwood kit to be able to adapt to your different brake pedals. Like I said, I'm trying to do this so you guys don't have to worry about buying extra stuff too much. Trying to, yeah, be a bit more of the budget minded. The threaded section is metric. I'm going to work out exactly what thread pitch and that, so you guys can go down to a bolt store or whatever to be able to buy just that bit of threaded nut, long rod, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so I'll work that out. have actually a Wilwood adapter kit, which allows you to have adjustable nut and eyelet to be able to go onto your master cylinder back to your pedal. Apparently a couple of different ranges for different models and whatnot. So what I'm planning to do is probably, I don't think I will end up using that because my plan was to weld that on top of that, but I think with the distance you have between the rod and the little dick bit that comes off the pedal, I think the original one off the original booster is going to be the better way to go. So I'm going to weld that on top. Firstly though, to mock it up, I'm going to grab a zip tie and zip tie it together like so, and I'm going to give you a little trick on what you can do if you really want to get a zip tie a lot tighter. Grab your side cutters and you just grab it there like so, and you just roll it until you hear a couple little clicks. Generally 2 more is fine, and you pull it flush, and then that's going to give you a much nicer, firmer grab on it. So I'm going to grab that, throw it in the car and see how that looks for alignment. So we're back under here again. I have my little bit done here, so I'm not going to try and get a good spot so I don't block the light. Might be able to slide that onto there like that. So we're still a little bit off, but I think just pulling that rod down a little bit and that up a little bit, it's not actually going to make that much of a difference. So we're still a little bit off. Oh, there we go. Still a little bit off on how far that nut is. So as you can see, it's actually going to go into the non-threaded part here. So gonna have to get that nut to slide further down. As you can see, there's a bit of a lip there, so I'll grind that off, move that further down, and have another dummy up. Alright, so here's our setup with it on. As you can see, I've still got a little bit more adjustment on the rod there, but if I take that off, so that's brake pedal all the way home, it slides on like that. So you can see it's not actually really making a massive pull or strain down onto that rod that goes in the master cylinder. It actually goes on just nicely, and it goes. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. So unwind it back off and weld her up, give it a bit of paint and fit it. The adapter, so I've jumped inside in the car and have fitted it and just done a bit of a mock-up test, and it actually looks pretty good, pretty happy with it. So we'll go in now and have a bit of a look. Right, so there it is there. As you can see, still got a bit of adjustment on the nut, but let's get a bit of shot here. There we go. But that's just play inside the master cylinder, but that's actually a pretty good height. And yeah, original clip can be used, new bush, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. Righto guys, that wraps up another episode of Jetski's Garage. The final step, obviously, you're going to have to bleed your master cylinder. There is actually a specific Wilwood way. They tell you to actually bench bleed it, get a few different nipples and some tubes and that. And yeah, they say that that is a must, that you must actually do that to prevent any inadequate braking pressure and whatnot. Not sure why it's any different to the standard way, but I'll probably end up just getting a mate to come around and give us a hand to do those brakes. But stay tuned for the next episode. I'm going to start tinkering with this 1976 F100, purchased not long ago. It's got a couple of issues with a bit of body work, bit of interior work, not much, and then yeah, engine's a little bit sad as well, so I'm going to go through, probably replace timing chain, possibly camshaft, and get that running, get it off the gas. So yeah, a couple of little things to come through on that as well. So stay tuned for next time guys. Thanks very much. Bye.